Well, the other day we were out playing in the sand, and Dwayne got his truck and camper stuck in the sand, so we tried to pull him out. We heard of a bit of a pop, and that's what the problem was. So now we're going to have to see if we can fix this. Originally, when we welded this, we just used inner shield off the wire feeder, and to be quite honest, it lasted really well. We've been out several times, climbed some really rocky places, got stuck 2 or 3 times. We pulled a couple of other people out, and really pleased with the gearbox and how it operates. So we're going to try a different filler metal here, different rod. We're going to go with a Eutectic product of 680, which is more designed for this kind of stuff. So we'll see what happens here. What we're going to do here is machine this old weld clear back into here. This is where the bearing fits, out to about right there. And so we're going to machine all this old weld out down to a point in the center. And then we'll machine this off, give us a good weld bevel, and then we'll weld it back up. We cleaned off all the old weld here. What I did was just drilled a little hole right in the center of it. We dialed this in so that we know it's true on the lathe. And then on the other half, we'll leave a little tang that we can set in there to keep it all straight. Okay, we got this other half. You can see the machine get the little tang setting out on here. If you notice, it's beveled just a little bit, and I just did that with a file. It's just got just enough taper so that when I put that in there, I know that it's going to be tight and centered. So then we can go ahead and tack her together and see what it looks like after that. Okay, we put this together and tightened it up good. We dialed in everything. Once we dialed this in first, we know it's true. And then we just checked that, and it's a dead on. So we know that our center line of this is correct. So we're going to go ahead and we built a little weld jig. We're going to put it in and help hold it straight while we weld it. And try to stop it from moving any more than we absolutely have to. But if it's a little bit crooked when we get done, we can deal with that then. Okay, we built this little angle iron jig to try and help everything stay straight. We've got this diameter here on the long shaft is just a little under 2 inches, so I took a piece of tubing and machined this outside so that it's the same as this. And then we bored out the inside so that this will go in it. We wanted to get that just as tight as we could. You can see it's pretty tight there. And hopefully we can clamp this on like so, into our angle iron there. And we'll set this in, make sure it's all tight together, and then clamp it down here so this will stay in place good. I think what this will do, as we weld it, we can rotate it and kind of do a little bit and rotate it and do a little more and try and keep our heat even all the way around. And this should help us keep it as straight as we can. We know our center line's correct. What's going to happen now is, as we weld this out, the end of this is going to be not quite lined up with the rest of it. We'll just have to deal with that after we get it welded. Okay, we got our jig all set up. We're out here where we can weld this. The reason that we welded this the first time with inner shield was because I didn't have a stick welder in the shop. And it was about the second week in February, and it was about 5 below zero outside. Well, this is my welder here, which is out at Daniel's house. Best stick welder I got, so that's why we went with inner shield in the first place. Now we're going to plan B, which is weld it with the proper material. Might point out I've used this stuff a lot. This Tactic 680. I welded leaf springs together with it. Had an 81 Blazer, which I put rear steering on, and I kept breaking axles on it. Well, I finally ran out of axles, so we cut the end off. I had an axle, but it was the wrong spline on it for the differential. So we took a broken one that was the right spline and cut off the end on one that was the wrong spline and welded it together, and I stuck it in there and we ran it. It never did break. I broke other axles, but I never did break that one, so I know that this is good stuff for that particular thing. We'll see how it works with this. And the instructions say preheat this to 400 degrees. Well, I don't have a torch out here. I got a little propane thing, so we're going to heat it up as much as we can. I'm not sure I can get 400 degrees, but we'll get it as hot as we can. 400 is pretty high. That's what your Tactic says, so we're going to try and hit that before we weld it. We welded our shaft up and then cleaned up the weld good. When we dialed it in, we were about 22 thousandths off when we get out there to the end, where it's dead on right here. So we've heated it up right there the first time to bring this back over, and it moved it, but when we redialed it back in, now our spot had rotated around the shaft. So we found our low spot again, heated it here, and let it cool off and rechecked it. Well, guess what? Now our low spot's clear over here. So I'm kind of chasing this around. Not sure, this thing hates me, I guess. It just doesn't want to come in. So we're going to try it again here on the low spot and see if we can finally bring this over. It keeps moving, but it keeps going around in circles here, so, which happens now and again. Usually it comes too far and you have to bring it back the other way a little bit. This is a little bit unusual, but we'll get it straight if we have to go put it in the press and do it, which I'd rather not do a cold bend on it, but if we have to, we'll do that. Well, we've heated this a couple more times now, 3 actually. Let's see where we started around here. Come back to there, hit it again, we went to here, hit it again, went to there, hit it again. So this last time, it was to here, I was within 10 thousandths. So instead of doing it right on the low spot, I dropped it down a little bit and heated her up right there, and lo and behold, we're within about 2 thousandths right there. So we're gonna call that good, because I'm tired of fooling with it. I think it'll be just fine.